Humans of the cardboard, welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Today we've got some very interesting news. For me personally, I would say really good news, but interesting news. So we have Gem Knight support, but it's not from the new Legendary Duelist set. It's actually from Power of the Elements. And really what this means is that it almost admonishes any possibility that I hope I used admonished correctly there, as a possible archetype to end up in the next Duels pack. We know it's Earth-based. We've seen that Morphtronics are essentially confirmed, or a power tool-based archetype, as well as Amazonas. And we got I think we got all but one of the Amazonas cards revealed so far. We don't know what the third archetype was. I thought it could have been, because of the name of the set is like Duels of Pyroxene in the OCG, I thought that kind of pointed towards a gem-specific deck, but Crystal Beast, not in there because we have a structure deck, which almost confirms that they're not going to be in there. And now Gem Knights, the other archetype that made the most sense, gets confirmed for another set. So up in the air. I think the chances that Magnet Warriors end up in there just increased a little bit. That's just what I'm hoping for. Anyway, got that out of the way. I had to get that off my mind just so you know where I'm at with that set. But yeah, let's get into this thing. I think we have 4 new cards. I know there's a lot of people that like Gem Knights. I don't love that they have mainly been known for being an FTK deck, but let's see how this support helps them out. Starting off here, we have Gem Knight Quartz, a level 4 Earth Fairy effect monster. Fairy? Earth Fairy. Okay. 1500, 1500 for the stats. 2 hard ones for turn effects. The first one reads, if your opponent controls a monster, you can discard this card, set 1 fusion continuous spell directly from your deck. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of this turn except Gem Knight monsters. Okay, so it does lock you into Gem Knights from the extra deck, which is important to note. But interesting. Otherwise, the first effect is weird here because Gem Knights have been known for like one of 2 things. Either like being a going second OTK deck or being a going first, like FTK style deck. And this doesn't really help the going first side of that, but it is a decent, make it to be a decent extender going second. Kind of cool. Or at least a searcher, pretty much. Very cool. All right. Second effect, if this card is used as material for fusion summon and sent to the graveyard or banished, you can add 1 Gem Knight monster from your graveyard to your hand. Okay, cool. I mean, we see this all over the place with Gem Knights. They rotate resources so crazily. I am glad this is a hard ones per turn. They have some cards that are not, I don't believe, fully hard ones per turn, so they rotate resources like crazy. They're able to do a huge number of fusion summons, but this is still a cool card, right? Just use it as material, get a free card back, as well as, you know, potentially being able to search you out powerful fusion spells going second or in the middle of a duel. Very cool. Not a bad card. Just seems a little more geared towards going second, which I'm not mad about because I don't play them, so I'm not stoked about FTKs running around. So I'm okay with that for sure. All right, next up here we have Brilliant Rose. This is a level 2 light rock effect monster. Somehow this is a rock, but this is a fairy. I guess it does kind of look like a fairy. Whatever. 500 attack, 500 defense. This card is always treated as a Gem Knight card. That is very important to note. You can only use the first effect of this card's name once per turn. The first effect reads, you can discard 1 Gem Knight or Melodious card to special summon this card from the hand. Interesting. So it doesn't have to be your normal. I think the other Rose generally does need to be normal summon. I don't think it extends it. No, I think it extends itself from grave, but not from hand. Interesting. Also, weirdly enough, these weird like Rose cards, the other one also, I believe, has an effect that works Melodious as well as Gem Knights, which is funny. Then its second effect, once per turn, you can send a Gem Knight or Melodious monster from your extra deck to grave. This card's name, type, and attribute become the sent monster's original name, type, and attribute until the end phase. That's pretty nice. I know some of the fusions in the Gem Knight archetype do require like a specific attribute or type sometimes from the Gem Knight archetype, because some of them do have different ones. So that's cool to be able to copy that. Other than that, I don't know if there's any Gem Knight monsters. Do any of the Gem Knight extract monsters have like crazy effects in grave? Like, does this help to just like get like a send? Like an extra foolish burial type effect? If not, still like just copying the name and being a decent extender can definitely be something, but we'll see. Still cool, not bad. All right, then we move to a new fusion monster. This is Gem Knight Lady Rose Diamond. Her design is really cool. She looks like a female knight, and she has like the really thin blade, almost like a fencing sword, which is really dope. Cool. Earth Fairy. Earth Fairy. Fusion effect monster, level 8, 2700 attack, 2400 defense. Takes 1 Gem Knight monster and 1 Fairy monster. Okay, so we do see some of that weird synergy with the Fairy, and just like I said, this card needing to copy or being able to copy a type or attribute comes up here, right? It can just become a Fairy, boom, it can be that second material here. Very cool. It has 2 effects, neither of which appear to be once per turn at all. The first one reads, the first time a Gem Knight monster you control would be destroyed by card effect during each opponent's turn. Only opponent's turn. It is not destroyed. Interesting. Okay. So only during your opponent's turn. Very cool. Second effect, when your opponent activates a monster effect during your turn. Quick effect, banish a Gem Knight card from your graveyard, then target one face-up card your opponent controls, destroy it. Interesting. So it doesn't negate the card, but it does give you a chainable way to just like clear another card off your opponent's field. This is another card that, weirdly enough, even though the deck has been known as like an FTK, mainly, like famously, kind of plays into the going second aspect, right? This card helps you just like extend into boards going second, but also this card being able to say, if you try to disrupt me with a monster effect, I'm taking something else out with me, or baiting another negate potentially. Very interesting. Also not once per turn. Yeah, also not even once per chain. So even theoretically, you could go activate effect, like your opponent tries to disrupt you, like do something, you can chain this to pop a card. If they have another negate, let's say it's something like Baronne de Fleur, and they go Baronne effect to negate, you can then chain this again in the same chain, it looks like, as long as you have enough Gem Knight cards engraved to keep banishing, pop the Baronne as well, or maybe another card, whatever else you want, and at least get one of the pops off. I don't know. It's interesting. Really interesting card. It is also only during your turn, although it would have been really nice if it was either player's turn. But what are you gonna do? Not too shabby, nonetheless. All right, and the last card we have here to look at is Scatter Fusion. This is, of course, a continuous spell because, of course, we needed to see a continuous fusion card to be able to search off of this guy, because Brilliant Fusion done been banned forever now. Here we go. First effect, you can only activate this card once per turn. If your opponent... oh, excuse me. You can only use the first effect of this card once per turn. Must be. If your opponent controls a monster, you can fusion summon 1 non-rock Gem Knight fusion from your extra deck using monsters from your deck as fusion material. Also, you can't special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except Gem Knights, and when this card leaves the field, destroy that monster or monsters. Very, very interesting. Okay, so again, we see a third card kind of designed for going second. Your opponent needs to control a monster for you to be able to punish them with this. But this is really strong. I mean, we talk about this all the time. If you're going to be a fusion deck in 2021, 2022 now, you have to have a fusion that like breaks the rules of fusion summoning, right? This just being letting you send your materials straight from deck. Really, really strong, especially since the Gem Knights do have a lot of effects engraved. So just being able to get stuff in really quickly. Very, very nice for sure. So good. I mean, I like this. I like that Konami's like actively pushing the deck in that kind of like going second OTK direction. Is this stuff enough to make it like a truly powerful contender type going second deck? I'm not sure. I'm really not. But this card's a pretty powerful one-off of just like, if you can bait all your opponent's negates first, then just plop this down as the last card in your hand. You know what I mean? Like, go to town. Especially if you're able to just like summon into this, and now if your opponent didn't have a negate there and they had to fire it, and they only had like a monster negate, now you have this card that at least takes something with you as well if they're trying to negate something at some point. So really, really cool. I think this is nice. I've never been the biggest Gem Knight fan, but you know, I think these are cool. I like the direction they're going here, but I'm no expert, of course. So let me know your thoughts down below. What do you think about this? If you know more about Gem Knights than me, where do you think these cards put them? Does it really take them to the next level, or does it just kind of push them slightly in a different direction? What are you seeing here? And also don't forget, we have one more archetype to be revealed for the deck build pack, and if it's Magnet Warriors, I will scream. I will scream. So there you go. I'm out of here. Thank you so much for watching as always, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you have not yet, and you want to see more stuff from me down the line, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.